is on data analytics, which is a very important topic. We are in the digitization world, and analyzing the data is very important. So COVID world now, COVID has changed our style of living. So the question is, what can data analytics help in the COVID world? A very simple question is that, when can COVID be over? And of course, we have other questions such as whether COVID will evolve to a new version. And of course, the next thing is the vaccine. So when can the vaccine be over? So we have been through many rounds of pandemic. So with the historical data, we should be able to predict what will happen next. Data analytics become a very big part in digital world, and just to share with you that data scientists, data analytics or business analytics is one of the highest emerging job in Singapore. And according to jobtech.com, we have about 20% increase for the last 3 years, 2017, 2018 and 2019 in the data scientist job. And the last thing I want to show you is some of the students project that we have done in our Nanyang Business School. Dashboard visualization is very important. Humans like to see visualization, and today you have a lot of tools available as in a visualization, such as things like Click. Some of you may have heard about it. And the emerging one is the Power BI, which Microsoft just bought over. And you have some more traditional system like Tableau. So this is how the COVID spread is. So this is the type of visualization that we usually look at. This is the Singapore University of Technology and Design, SUTD. So it's a technological university in Singapore. So how do they predict the world? Is COVID. So if you look at it by this August, most likely everything will be over, but this prediction is in May. So looks like the progress, probably August may not be the date. We shall see. Let's look at Singapore. So some bad news here. So the prediction is much lower than the actual. The good news is that it predicted that June 8, we should have a very small number, which is quite accurate in this sense. For the last few weeks, at least 1 to 2 weeks, we have a single-digit COVID new cases. In fact, there are 2 days that we even have a 0 case. So now, how can use AI to battle COVID-19? So can we use chatbot instead of human? Now think about it. Now we are in COVID-19 and there is less human interaction. So for instance, you need to go to bank to ask questions. You need to go to immigration department to ask questions, etc. Or even school, right? So chatbot is one of the way to automate this process and to reduce this interaction between humans, and chatbot is one of the solutions. So the question is chatbot ready? So yes, chatbot is ready. Before I go to the next slides, just want to explain to you, chatbot has been doing very well in Singapore. One of the most popular one is Singapore Tourism Board. The chatbot is performing very well. Most of them can hit 90% accuracy. And now look at this. Researchers nearly double US COVID-19 death projection due to lockdown easing. So lockdown easing is everybody's questions. In Singapore, we are looking at lockdown easing in our second phase, which is in 15 June. So the biggest worry is that after you ease the lockdown, will the COVID cases increase? So based on some data analytics, of course, before the government ease it, and they actually go through a lot of data analytics before they come up with the date, say for example either 15 June or maybe 30th June. So the question is, what is the best date? So distancing. So in Singapore we practice social distancing, and likewise the rest of the world. and how far the distance is needed. So do you need 1 meter, 2 meters, etc. And the question is also how long the distancing need to be continued. So some of the experts, based on some historical data prediction, they feel that 2022, then we can start to have zero distancing. So because we have been through many rounds of pandemic, right? So from the few pandemic history, we can start to predict the distancing needs and should last for how long. So a lot of countries is looking forward for the vaccine. So things like for the last 3 cases, we have SARS, we have H1N1, we have MERS, but the problem is this vaccine not really kick in because the virus already disappeared. So if the virus persistent, should we use vaccine? This is also a big question that all the data analysts is working on. If you can come up with some concrete empirical results, that will be very useful. First is that COVID-19, is this the only version? Will there be COVID-20, COVID-21? And the question is that how long can this pandemic last? So just other than COVID, I like to go through some general application. So if you look at the document review done in Deloitte 2018, they actually managed to reduce from 6 months to 1 month. And for MBS, we have done a project to look at document review to better comply to the template. And we have accuracy of more than 90% where human can generally do it at 80% using machine learning to detect fraud, and 97% accuracy. So as long as you have a trend of knowing when the fraud can happen, a machine today can actually detect the anomaly, and the anomaly detection can go up to even more than like 95%, etc. is quite common. Not only for fraud detection, anomaly detection, like for example cyber security attack, wrong accounting ledger, etc. So whether it's error or fraud, means intention and no intention, both actually are able to detect in a very high accuracy given enough historical data. So just now we have talked about, can we use chatbot to reduce human to humans interaction? The answer is yes. So if you look at IBM Watson 2011, he actually won in this Jeopardy, and 2019. So if you look at this IBM Watson, he actually hit 1 million, and the other two contestants is only 200,000 and 300,000. In 2019, same thing happened. 2016, same thing happened in China. So this is the machine called Xiaodu. So the Xiaodu also better than the human champion. So Alibaba AI chatbot, they can do in 2019, they can do 350 million inquiries per day. So it's for Dian Xiaomi. So think about it, this 350 million. How many people you need to hire in the call center to able to answer 350 million questions per day? And that's talking about thousands of them. And cardiologists versus AI today. And if you look at machine can do up to 90%, and human only can do 56%, and in hospital today, you look at all the equipment for cardio, and it's usually the machine rather than a human. So the question is, since the machine can do so well, so what happened to us? So 51% of the job will be affected by machine, according to Gartner's. So Singapore government advertised 3 roles. These are very easily be replaced by human. One is teachers, that's me. So just to share with you a little bit on what is the situation today. There is currently 3 weeks before the COVID, 3 weeks in 13 weeks. This is actually done by recording, we call e-learning. And COVID in the coming semester for our undergrad, most likely will start with all full online. So maybe very fast, robot can teach rather than human. Librarian is another one, and of course security guard. So librarian probably easier, right? So it's quite standard. Security guard maybe still more dynamic. And that's in August. So evolution of AI, we have since 1980s, we have started our machine learning, and now that 60 years, 70 years later, we have actually improved so much that we actually, most of the AI machines are ready to assist human rather than to replace human. So first, prediction. Now, basically, machine usually we look at three things. One is the analytics and prediction. So analytics is the fundamental. You analyze the data, may not want to do some prediction. You just present some of the data. Then after that, you want to predict the data. So prediction has some bottleneck as well because of the accuracy. And the third part is automation, like chatbot, robotic, etc. Right? So automation is very popular today. So this is the one that we do prediction and analytics. So the second one we do classification. So same thing like prediction. So what we do is consumer product classification. So according to these many e-commerce suppliers, they say that they claim that the classification actually 20% is classified wrongly and you miss the chance to sell your products. So can a machine do better than human? Unfortunately, not this competition. Our accuracy is only 74 and human can do easily more than 80%. So I'm quite sure in time to come, we probably can do more than 80%. So accounting chatbot again, we did that many chatbots. I think for the last 2 years, we have done more than 10 chatbots, and one of them has successfully implemented in a hospital and is handling at least hundreds of questions. And we are also expanding the answer question bank. So far we have about 400. We wanted to go to 2,000. But of course, the higher you go, then the accuracy may drop. Blockchain, very important today. So we implement a few blockchain trading of iron ore, commodities, and some other things. Not that ready yet, the market. So I'm quite sure in time to come, blockchain is part of our life. So of course now is in crypto is doing very well in blockchain.
Okay, just a little bit on the background of NTU. NTU has a rich history. We started as 1955 as a Nanyang University, and in 1991, the Nanyang Technological Institute merges with the National Institute of Education to actually form what we know the name of the university today, Nanyang Technological University. NTU, although we are a young university, we are already ranked 11 in the world globally, and this is by the QS World University Ranking. And this is our other two campuses, the One North campus as well as the Novena campus. So the Nanyang Business School actually started as a school of accountancy, and it was only in 1995 that we renamed it as the Nanyang Business School. And we are consistently ranked among the top tier business schools in the world. So at the business school itself, we have close to 7,000 students enrolled in our undergrad and postgraduate programs. We are very proud of our research-oriented practices in the business school as well as the university, and in providing industry-relevant education to our students. Our brand name as the university and the business school is also globally recognized by employers. At Nanyang Business School and NTU, we are very proud that we have really world-class faculty. At the business school itself, we have more than 200 faculty members and coming from close to 30 countries. So you can imagine our faculty are very global, and they are graduates from top global universities. A lot of them also are practitioners and also consulting in the top MNCs in various expertise. The professor that you see here, he's in our business school. He's called Professor Vijay Sati. He was voted in 2013 by EIU as the world best business school professional. So over at the business school, we have a lot of research center. So you can see on the right side, the various research center that we have, from the case study center to finance, to cultural intelligence, to the African study, etc. And we welcome close to 1,000 participants last year across all our different programs. So I'm from the Nanyang Business School, the Graduate Studies Program team to be exact. And so these are the list of programs, master's program that we offer over here. So some of you may be familiar with this Graduate Management Admissions Council. It is short, it's called GMAC. So GMAC is the organization that administers the GMAT test. So if you're considering our business programs, you will have seen a GMAT test is one of our admissions criteria for many of our master's programs. So they are the body that administer this test. So in one of the questions asked to corporate recruiters is, which skills are most important for business school graduates? You can see on the screen that the top two skills, the problem solving and working with others, are highly rated. 87 and 81% of recruiters say that it is the most important and the next most important skills. And definitely our business school program definitely do help our students in terms of problem solving skills. So our students are not just sitting through hours and hours of lecture, but they are expected to actively participate in the classroom so that they are able to, apply what they have learned in the class into case studies, into assignment, into presentations. So this definitely helps in terms of their problem-solving abilities. And of course, working with others. Our programs attract talents from different parts of the world with different backgrounds. So, and having to work others in terms of, assignments, presentation, etc., is also a very important skills in today's global workplace. Yep. So definitely a business school program helps, can help you with these top two skills. Of course, the other the skills they are rated important are also, as you can see here, a lot of about soft skills, which business school are highly rated for. The next question is how corporate recruiters evaluate business school graduates. So in terms of, they were given a list of all the different skills, and the recruiters, you can see here from the list of the different skills, a high percentage of the recruiters rate them as very well prepared or adequately prepared. So these are the reasons why a business school graduate are highly sought after, highly prized. And of course, why should you choose to study in Singapore? We have many options nowadays. Well, I would like to think that if you think that studying in, if you are thinking about your future career, you're thinking that you want to work in Asia, it makes sense to consider a business school in Asia because of the network that you get in terms of your classmates, as well as our careers office, network. It will be much more centered in this region. And of course, Singapore, we pride ourselves as being the hub of Asia. And being in Asia is one of the fastest growing economic region in the world. And I mean, you would probably agree with me that Asia is also the world's most dynamic economic region with lots of growth opportunity in the next decade or so. Definitely when we are talking about growth opportunity, global companies will be setting up offices in this region, in these countries, and they will be actively looking for very educated, highly qualified talents to join their organization. Singapore is also one of Asia's most culturally diverse country. Studying in Singapore, where we expose you to a multi-racial, multicultural environment, helps you to hone that skills, the cultural sensitivity right at the start. So we offer 4 specialized master's programs that are taught in English language. So the first is the Masters of Science in Business Analytics. Second is the Financial Engineering program, Accountancy, and finally the Marketing Science. So right now, I'll go into each of the programs to give you a little bit of the highlights of these programs. So our program, the Masters of Science in Business Analytics, is a new program, and we are welcoming our first cohort this year in July. So if you have a chance to look at our website, feel free to download our brochure. Take a look at our curriculum. Our curriculum is developed with future-focused content. We work closely with industry partners to identify the skill sets that are needed by employers. And of course, the program, we have a lot of key employer partners who work closely with us, and our students are able to use some of the real-life data from these organizations to do some in terms of using it for their projects, etc. We also have a lot of internship opportunities with key industry partners in terms of for internship at the end of the program. And also we use the latest tools in the programs. So our program is a 1-year full-time program. It starts in July every year and will end in May the following year. So at the bottom, you see the list of the different core modules that you have to take. And on top are some of the electives that you can choose to take. So at the end of the 1-year program, you can choose to graduate from the program in May, or you can actually choose to extend and go on a full-time internship program, or even an overseas exchange with some of our partners in the US, in European countries. So for international students coming from abroad, you can only do the program in a full-time schedule unless you have other visas that allow you to work in or stay in Singapore. Then you can do it on a part-time schedule, which will take about 1.5 years. Okay, so the next I will talk about is the Masters of Science in Financial Engineering. So the MSc Financial Engineering is really one of our most established specialized master's program in the Nanyang Business School, with more than 20 years of history, and is one of the most established program in this field in the region. So this program, we have a collaboration with the Carnegie Mellon University, which allows selected students to actually spend 7 weeks in a CMU in the US to study 4 modules over there. So our program, the Financial Engineering program, is a multidisciplinary program. So the program has, the curriculum has a module that is our modules focuses on the finance and mathematics, as well as computer programming. So we produce multi-skilled financial engineers in our program. So in the program, our students also get to enjoy exclusive speaker series where we invite experienced industry practitioner as well as visiting professor to give a closed-door seminar for our students. Curriculum is also one of the most comprehensive one around, where our students have to actually go through a 24 module curriculum. So you can imagine how comprehensive and rigorous it is. And the program, we also collaborate with the School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences, SPMS for short in NTU. So there are faculty from SPMS teaching in our program as well. So this program can be done on a 1-year full-time schedule or a 2-year part-time schedule. Yeah. So over here, you can see all the different modules that you have to take. And these are the optional module that you do in Carnegie Mellon if you choose to go. At the end of June, you can also choose to graduate, or you can choose to go on an optional full-time internship program. Okay, next up is the Masters of Science in Accountancy. So actually the accountancy program in NTU is really, really strong. As I mentioned before, the business school actually started as a school of accountancy. So you can imagine the kind of strength that we have in this area. So we do know that digital disruption is also impacting the field of accounting, and definitely we know that data analytics and forensic accounting are also very important in accounting. So we have introduced all this into our curriculum to prepare our students for all these changes that is currently taking place in accounting and finance. So, and some of our modules, we also invite the partners from Big Four auditing firm to actually co-teach with us in some of the modules. So you are assured that whatever we teach in the program is highly industry relevant. It is, it can be applied to the workplace effectively. And of course, we uses a lot of case studies in the program, which means that you are able to really test your knowledge, whether you're able to apply what you have learned into solving problems in the case studies. And I think one of the hallmarks of all our program is our highly interactive seminar style teaching, where we require active participation from our students. So it's really it's a great way to train your leadership skill, to train your presentation skills, to train teamwork, etc. And if you recall from the GMAT surveys, these are the soft skills that are equally important and sought after by recruiters. The accounting standards that we teach in the program is based on the international accounting standards, and our program are actually accredited by many professional accounting bodies. And as a graduate from the program, you actually can get exemptions when you apply for all the different professional accounting qualifications. So again, this program can be done 1 year full-time or 2 years part-time, and the program starts in July and will end in May. So this program is a fixed curriculum program. So all the modules that you see here are all required core modules, so to speak. So at the end of May, you can choose to graduate from the program, or you can choose to go on optional internship or even an overseas exchange program with our overseas partner. Okay, finally, one of the last specialized master's program that I will be sharing today is the Masters of Science in Marketing Science. So this program just undergo a kind of a curriculum update, and this year our cohort coming in July this year will be experiencing our new curriculum as well as the new format of teaching. So the new format of the program is a 1 year full-time program, whereas previously it was a part-time multiple program. So in this 1 year full-time program now, the program really equips our students with holistic marketing knowledge that focus on marketing, consumer insights, as well as MarTech, which is short for marketing technologies. Our curriculum also has a lot of cutting-edge modules such as AI and robotics in marketing, ethnography, neuromarketing, and neurosciences. So we do know that all these kind of MarTech or technology focused modules are very important in today's marketing function, because the digital disruption has also changed the way consumers are consuming advertisement, marketing messages, as well as buying behaviors. So we do need to know to understand consumer behavior deeply and how to use marketing technologies effectively to maximize your marketing campaigns. And again, our programs are highly practice-oriented and adopts a hands-on approach through many company visits, projects, and case studies. So this is a 1 year full-time program that starts in July and ends in May. So our program, for this program, it is also a fixed curriculum program where all the modules you see here are core modules. So all our specialized master's program starts in July next year. And our admission requirements for specialized master's program, you do not need to have any work experience to be enrolled in this program. So we actually welcome fresh graduates in the program. And for example, for accounting and business analytics and marketing science, you need to have a bachelor's degree, and it can be from any discipline. So you need not to have the background in the field to do the master's program. So we welcome students from different disciplines to be in the program. And for financial engineering program, because the program is very focused, has a very strong quant focus, so we are looking at people with strong quant background. And usually, students with undergrad in like engineering, sciences, mathematics, economics, finance are some of the more undergrad majors that has more quant element in it, and you will be more suitable for the program. So if you are a graduate from other major, it will be considered on a case-by-case basis. Yeah. So for all the program, we require GMAT or GRE score, except for the Masters of Science in Marketing Science. GMAT is an optional one. For TOEFL and IELTS requirements, it is only required if your undergrad degree is not taught in English language. So if your degree is taught in English language, no TOEFL IELTS score is required. So at the business school, many of you are also concerned about the careers after doing the program. So at business school, we have a dedicated office called the Graduate Study Career Development Office that is dedicated to the graduate students in the business school. So the services that they offer to all our master's program students are dedicated employer engagement specialists, where they are deeply connected to industry, recruiters, companies in the specified field of industry, and so they know the recruitment needs and cycle very well. They provide one-to-one career coaching to our students. They also organize a whole suite of career workshops, from resume writing to interview skills to image management, etc. So NTU itself, we have more than 200,000 strong NTU alumni in close to 160 countries. And at the business school itself, we have close to 50,000 business school alumni in close to 90 countries. Okay, so now on to the alumni testimony. So first is from our Masters of Science in Accountancy program. So Sashi, she comes from India. She was already a chartered accountant in India when she embarked on our Masters of Science in Accountancy program. So currently, she is working in Singapore in the PwC, one of the big four accounting firms. So in choosing NTU MSc Accountancy program, she rates the university ranking, the location as a financial hub and multicultural population, with some of the key factors that she considers, in choosing the place and the university for her graduate studies. Next we have Larissa. She's a Norwegian. She is a consultant in Accenture in Norway. But her undergrad major is she wanted to do a specialized master's that can give her the background, in-depth knowledge of finance and accounting, so that she's able to understand, her clients, when they engage her in a consulting project. So she is in our current cohort, and she'll be returning to Accenture in Norway at the end of the program. Okay, so next we have Prasad. He is from India. He's alumni of our financial engineering master's program. So currently he's head of algorithm, and he embarked on this program. Actually, his background was, I think, engineering background, and it's not in finance. And he decided to do this program, and it gave him the knowledge of financial markets and the confidence, to pursue his career as a trader. So today he writes his own algorithm, in doing his own trading. Next we have Xing Long. He's from China. He's also an financial engineering alumni. So his major in undergrad was in chemistry, so he wanted to switch to the finance industry. So he finds the curriculum very challenging and comprehensive, and give him the much needed knowledge in different areas in finance, mathematics, and programming, so that he's able to switch effectively into the finance industry.
NTU, in terms of the kind of ecosystem, NTU is known to be a very business and also an IT university, technologically advanced. We have a lot of research centers that are delving into top-end projects. So what it means is that by doing a business education in NTU, you are also getting the first-hand knowledge of how all these new technologies is going to merge with the field of business. In terms of how that will be, is an advantage, because if you are the first one to know about all these new technologies, you are also the first one to see the business potential in it. And that is something that not every university is able to offer. Second is that the MSBA, which is Business Analytics program, what we call in short, is that it's a very hands-on project. It's, in some sense, we do give the priority to give a hands-on experience to our students. We have internships, we also have industry projects. So that is our USP. When we designed this program, when we wanted to make it as relevant to the ground as possible. So that is really what we aim to do for this program. So we don't require you to be technologically savvy. It will be good if you have some knowledge of programming, because ultimately you would still be in touch. First of all, what you need to have is an interest, a very strong interest in analytics, in the field of data analytics. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for us to teach you this kind of particular interest and all those things, right? So that is really what we are trying to aim for. The thing is that education is not something that is new. It's going to be evergreen. The knowledge that you learn is not going to be out of date. The frameworks that you're going to learn are going to be relevant, whether is it now or is it 10 years later. The reason being is that human psychology is not going to change the feel of it. It is going to be still there. What we are trying to teach is skills. And skills are going to be with you throughout. And what we believe is that all these skills, whether is it a COVID world or non-COVID world, is still going to be relevant.
The COVID world has actually pushed us to embrace technology even more. Like right now, we're actually doing webinars at our own home. We are not able to go back to office to meet our friends and colleagues. So the push to embrace technology is faster than ever. So if COVID were to happen 10 years ago, I think it would be much harder for us to survive, working, keeping businesses up and all that. So I think the thing about COVID has taught me personally is that change is really the only constant in the world. Which is why in Singapore, for those of you who are not dialing in from other countries, the Singapore government has been really pushing us to continuous learning for adult learners, so that learning doesn't stop. So that we can keep up and continue to make ourselves relevant to the jobs. So right now, if you are very not technological savvy in today's COVID world, I think you'll find can be a little bit challenging. So which is why we want to upgrade ourselves. Our programs are here to equip you with the skills. But that doesn't mean that at the end of your master's program, you're done. You don't have to learn anymore. We constantly learn on the job. We constantly pick up new skills. I think that's how we constantly value add up to ourselves as well as to our employees. So international students can actually apply upon graduation a long-term visiting pass. So this allows you to stay in Singapore for 1 year for you to look for a job. Once you have secured a job, your employer actually has to apply for an employment pass for you. So we are unlike some countries where you have to get the working visa and then you work then you look for a job. For us, is you find a job first, and your employer will help you to get the work visa.
Unfortunately, for part-time masters, the assumption is that you will be working full-time. So if you're working full-time, it is going to be very difficult for us to arrange for an internship for you. And I don't think your company is going to be very receptive to it, your present company. So what will happen is that we don't usually arrange for internships for our part-time students. But for full-time students, yes, there is such an option. They can do an internship while they are studying. But the number of hours is going to be limited. Alternatively, they can sign up for an internship module after they have completed their coursework, which will in some sense delay their graduation for an additional 6 months. But this 6 months will be a way for them to get their foot into the company. You will see now is that a lot of consulting companies are actually practicing that because they want to know whether are you a person who is suitable for the program, for their company, the culture and everything. So in some sense, this is really an opportunity for you to go into the job. And in some sense, internship is a good opportunity for the company to test you, but it's also a good opportunity for you to test the company whether do you find that the work environment is suitable for yourself. The answer is no, unfortunately. Business master studies tend not to be subsidized. It applies not just to NTU, even NUS, SMU, they are all taking under the same policy. But what we can do is that we do have avenues for different types of scholarships and different. It will not be a full scholarship. The truth is, it's going to be a partial scholarship, but we do try to help all students.
We do actually offer a 10% off the tuition fee for Singapore citizens as well as Singapore PR. And also NTU, if you're an NTU alumni, you actually get a 10% off our tuition fee as well. And of course, for Singapore citizens, you do have that SkillsFutures credit. So if you have not spent it, well, you can use it as well.
Now the question is, if you don't, what would happen? Because the thing is that the world is going to change in terms of data analytics. It's no longer going to be making decisions based on gut feel. You have to be able to have data to sort of back up your decisions. This is really how the world is. Businesses are operating. I take an example. Walmart is one of the biggest supermarket chain in the US. And what they do is that they do a lot of data analytics into even what their customers are looking at, not shopping, but rather looking at how long they have been looking at a certain display. And in some cases, they can also accurately measure what is the tendency for the person to buy. So if you apply that kind of analysis towards things like, for example, engaging customers, then the question is, what are the kind of rewards you're going to get? It is going to be much larger. And the thing is, businesses are taking notice of this and they are going to use this ever more often.
So definitely we evaluate each candidate holistically. So it's really not just about the academic grades. We also look at the university you graduate from. Of course, the grades that you have, we also look at that. We also look at whether you have internships, are they relevant, any work experience. And of course, if some of the programs with GMAT or GRE score requirement, that is also something that we look for. So we also look at how you answer the essay questions and how your referees rate you in cert. So with all this, we actually form a whole, have a better understanding of you as a profile as a whole. Because for MFE program, we are looking for people with strong quant background, and chemistry sciences, they usually have quite strong foundation in quant. But of course, if your quant background is not very strong, we really don't recommend you to do the financial engineering program as well, because the kind of quant requirement rigor in the program is really, really high.
The thing is that finance requires a very good predictive model, and data analytics has been shown time and time again to be one of the best ways to predict certain income flows and everything. If you look at things like actuarial science, they do a lot of data analytics because they need to know exactly what kind of income stream they were gonna get in another 6 months or 1 year or even 10 years, the projection, because those are related to things like what is the payout for insurance and everything. So those are affecting finance now. And with data analytics, if you can get a more if you can get something that is better accuracy of even 1%, that will make a very big difference. And that is what is being applied to in finance today. Answer is yes, we accept GRE score. GRE score, for those who don't know, is actually the graduate assessment, I think. So basically, the idea is that a GRE is meant for all graduate programs, but the business school also accepts it. GMAT is meant for business school, but we also accept it. So taking a GMAT will put you in more for business schools, whereas GRE will open your door wider. We do have a suite of MBA programs. They tend to be more meant for business decision leaders and people who are a bit more advanced in their career. So one of the programs that comes to my mind when you describe such a thing is actually our Executive MBA program or our Nanyang Professional MBA program. Those tend to be really talking about business. And family business, as far as the thing goes, is that you need to professionalize, you need to know how to conduct your business properly. So the question for this is really, what suits you? The reason is that we accept anybody without even those without working experience. Reason being is that we believe we are able to equip you with those analytical skills. But the thing is, having spent a few years in working, you will realize that certain intuitions and things like that tends to be a bit more sharp when you have worked for a few years. So the thing is that both are alright. It's just that they will come from different perspectives and they will be able to share different types of situation, and they will be able to bring new things to the table. So both are fine. Really depends on what you want to achieve from the program. That is one of the chief questions that our admissions officers do ask a lot when we are looking at new applicants, because it's very necessary for us to make sure that the program deliverables are what you want and what we can achieve. So both are in NTU. In terms of the focus is slightly different. For the business analytics, what we want to achieve is analytics from a business perspective. Meaning is that we are not just putting you to look at analytics from a very academic point of view. Yes, you'll be still looking at it, averages, things like that. Those are still going to be there. But the question is, what after that? Which is, what does this average mean for the typical business? And that is what the MSBA Business Analytics is trying to achieve with this particular program, that we are trying to bridge the gap between data analytics and business function so that we have people who are versed in both areas. Both have good prospects because both are emerging fields. Artificial intelligence is a very big field by itself. There's a lot of interest in this. There is a lot of push for artificial intelligence to replace things that are a bit more manual. If you look at chatbots, a lot around the world, they are all using artificial intelligence. So the interest and also the amount of prospects is definitely very high. Whereas business analytics more tunes towards business decisions based on data analysis and all. So it's a very different field altogether. But both are emerging fields. Both have its good points and both have its interest in the business.
We really look at the application as a whole. If you feel that your undergrad, GPA or CAP or whatever is not very good, but if you have an outstanding job, career prospect, leadership skills, and a very good GMAT score, we'll still give you the opportunity to progress to the next stage, which is an admission interview. After that is how you perform at the interview. That will determine if you get the admission offer.
Actually, the good thing is that we do not have any prerequisite for you to know programming, but because we have bootcamp essential programming modules to assist you in programming. But at least you must like programming, because 50% of the core modules, which is 6 modules, is all about programming. So if you don't like programming, but then yet you need to do programming from morning to evening, that could be a problem. Okay, so you need to like programming.
In terms of the requirements of our industry partners, it's very different. Some of them, what they are looking for are actually graduates with some years of working experience, because it helps them to because they want them in a more senior position. Perhaps there will be a situation where they want them to be able to take control of a small team and everything. So putting a fresh grad in might be a challenge. So these are the things. But I would say that to a very big extent, a lot of companies are not just looking at work experience as a whole, they are looking at more of a relevant work experience, and that is something a bit more challenging.
Few things that you need to know fundamentally is why Singapore, why NTU, why Nanyang Business School, and why MSBA. So these are 4 basic items that we may ask you any of them. And then the other one, actually we wanted to take in candidates, students who can be employed. So we need to know that do you have a good career plan? For example, after you graduated from MSBA, what do you want to be? And what do you want to be 5 years later? So in short means you must have strong career plan, because we hope our students is the employability is very high. So these are the major things that we need. Of course, technical skill may not be able to build overnight, but if you have technical skill, like for example, you have internship that you have done in big companies and that is related to business analytics, that will be plus point. Or if you know all the skill set needed in this business analytics, for example, you are familiar with Python, you are familiar with R, you are familiar with all the business, this mathematical model, of course there will be advantage as well. Yes, we have one professor who is especially focused on this area. His name is Prof. Rohit, and is in our electives. And yes, this is the emerging market analytics. I am not familiar with it, but I will say that analytics is very important. Why? Take for example supply chain. Now, for example, we need this mask today because of COVID-19. So the question is, we have to go to the very source, the cotton, etc., all the way to the end consumer. So I'm not familiar, but yes, in our electives, we will tell you how analytics can help the whole supply chain.
We thank you for your interest, and we look forward to having you in our future webinars. So thank you everyone, and we wish you all the best in health, and stay safe.